If you only ever grow one thing in a container this year, I'd tell you to skip the herbs, skip the lettuce, and go straight for this one. And by the end of this video, I think you'll agree with me, or at least understand why I'm this convinced. Here's the thing nobody tells beginners. Not all container plants are created equal. Some give you a small, occasional harvest. Others just keep giving, week after week, until frost finally shuts them down. Cherry tomatoes are firmly in that second category, and once you understand why, you'll probably wonder why you didn't start with these first. Okay, so let's actually break down why. Let's start with the obvious question. Why this plant specifically? First, the yield. A single well-cared-for cherry tomato plant can produce hundreds of tomatoes over a single season. Not dozens, hundreds. Most container vegetables give you a handful of harvests and call it done. Cherry tomatoes just keep fruiting over and over for months, as long as you keep up with them. Second, they're almost absurdly low effort for how much they give back. You're not slicing, dicing, or cooking anything. You walk outside, pull a handful straight off the vine, and eat them right there. That immediacy is part of what makes them so satisfying to grow. There's no gap between harvest and enjoying it. Third, and this one matters more than people think, flavor. Store-bought tomatoes are picked underripe and shipped long distances, which means they never fully develop their sugars. A cherry tomato left to ripen fully on the vine, in your own container, tastes like a completely different food. I'm not exaggerating when I say most people who grow their own for the first time are shocked at the difference. And there's a real nutritional upside too, worth mentioning briefly. Cherry tomatoes are a solid source of vitamin C and lycopene, the antioxidant that gives tomatoes their red color. Nothing dramatic, nothing you need a headline about, just a genuinely good nutrient-dense snack that happens to taste incredible when it's fresh. Put all of that together, high yield, low effort, superior flavor, decent nutrition, and you've got one of the strongest cases of any plant for why it deserves space in your garden. But here's where it gets specific to what we actually care about on this channel. Why does this particular plant make so much sense in a container? Alright, let's actually dig into that part. This is where a lot of people get it backwards. They assume containers are compromise, a lesser version of real gardening. Something you settle for because you don't have a yard. For cherry tomatoes specifically, that's just not true. In a lot of ways, containers are the better choice, not the fallback one. Start with pest control. Ground soil is connected to everything. Every pest, every disease, every fungal spore already living in that dirt. A container breaks that connection entirely. You're starting with clean soil, elevated off the ground, which makes it dramatically harder for common tomato pests and soil-borne diseases to ever reach the plant in the first place. Then there's control. In the ground, you're at the mercy of whatever soil you happen to have. Heavy clay, poor drainage, depleted nutrients, whatever it is, you're stuck with it. In a container, you build the soil yourself, from scratch, exactly the way the plant wants it. Every input, water, nutrients, drainage, is something you're deciding, not something the ground is deciding for you. And then there's mobility, which honestly doesn't get talked about enough. If a cold snap is coming, you can move the container somewhere protected. If you notice one spot on your patio gets 6 hours of sun and another only gets 4, you can just relocate the plant. Ground plants don't get that flexibility. Once they're in, they're in. Put simply, cherry tomatoes are prolific enough to reward you fast, and containers give you enough control to actually protect that investment. That combination is exactly why this pairing works so well for beginners specifically. Okay, now let's get into the actual how, because this is the part that trips people up if you skip it. Container size. This is where most beginners go wrong, and it's worth getting right from day one. You want a minimum of 5 gallons per plant. That's not a suggestion, it's close to a hard floor. Anything smaller, and you're setting the plant up to be root-bound and stressed before it's even had a chance to establish. Now, variety. This one actually matters more than people expect. Not every cherry tomato plant is built for a pot. Determinate or bush varieties, things like Tiny Tim, Patio Princess, or Balcony Cherry, stay compact and manageable, which makes them ideal for container life. Indeterminate varieties will still grow in containers. They just keep growing taller and vining all season, which means you'll need a sturdier trellis or cage to support them. Neither choice is wrong. It just depends on whether you want something tidy and self-contained, or something bigger that needs a bit more structure. Next up, soil. And honestly, this is one people underestimate. Skip anything labeled garden soil or topsoil. It's too dense for a container and won't drain properly. You want a proper potting mix, ideally with compost worked in for nutrients. This one decision affects almost everything downstream, from root health to how often you'll need to water. Then there's sun. Cherry tomatoes are not a shade plant, plain and simple. You need 6 to 8 hours of direct sun, minimum, for the plant to actually produce well. If your space doesn't get that naturally, this is exactly where the mobility advantage we just talked about comes in. You can chase the sun around your space, instead of accepting whatever light your one fixed spot happens to offer. Okay, watering. Probably the question I get asked the most. Containers dry out significantly faster than ground soil. There's simply less volume to hold moisture, and the surrounding air pulls water out from all sides, not just the top. In hot weather, that can mean checking daily, sometimes even twice a day. The simplest test: stick a finger about 2 inches into the soil. If it's dry at that depth, water. If it's still damp, wait. Every time you water, you're also washing a small amount of nutrients out through the drainage holes, more so than you'd lose in ground soil. A slow-release fertilizer worked into the soil at planting, paired with a liquid feed every couple of weeks once the plant starts flowering, keeps it fueled through a long fruiting season instead of running out of steam by midsummer. None of this is complicated. It's really just 5 or 6 small decisions, made correctly up front, that save you from most of the problems people run into later. So that's a full case. Why cherry tomatoes deserve a spot in your garden. Why a container is genuinely the better home for them, not just the convenient one. And exactly how to set it up, so you're not guessing. If you already grow tomatoes, and you're doing it in the ground, I'd actually challenge you to try one in a container this season. Right alongside what you're already doing, and just compare the two. I have a feeling you'll be surprised which one performs better by the end of the season. Next time, I want to get into what to do once the harvest actually starts coming in fast. Because with a plant this productive, too many tomatoes becomes a real problem, and there are a few tricks to actually keep up with it. If this helped you see cherry tomatoes differently, let me know in the comments what you're planning to grow this season. And a like goes a long way if you found this useful. Subscribe if you want to stick around for what's next.